Hello, namaskar, adab, sasyakal, kasakai, kedo halai, kem cho. Welcome to Spotlight with Abha, and I'm your host, Abha Jara. Friends, today we have an inner power, energy, and mindfulness coach who is a master of an international Reiki, business qigong guide, mindfulness coach, and author of 2 books. Sandeep is an expert on stress management and applying ancient oriental wisdom to modern business challenges. He is actively involved with the Professional Speakers Association of India. So, meet the inner power coach who applies ancient oriental wisdom to overcome contemporary business challenges of stress, health, purpose, productivity, happiness, and leadership. Mr. Sandeep Nath, the founder of Renewalism from Delhi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abha. It's such a pleasure to be on your show. Wonderful. Thank you. And let me also say namaste and hola. I know a few more.
Yes. Sandeep, before me and my viewers get empowered and energetic with your inspiring thoughts, let me give my viewers your brief introduction. Sandeep Nath is best defined as the inner power coach because his interventions result in people rising to and sustaining higher potential. His speaking style quickly engages audiences and individuals to change and think differently. He is thought-provoking, insightful, and direct. Participants on his events, whether online or offline, feel compelled to take action. He is a master in establishing the link of health, purpose, and productivity with the energy required of a leader. And he makes managers self-motivated to use his energy to decrease stress, increase customer delight, empower teams, improve work-life balance, maximize productivity. Since 2016, Sandeep has worked with thousands of individuals across 4 continents and has conducted workshops at over 25 nationally reputed centers. On Google, he owns the front page for Sandeep Nath's success, having authored Arrive at Success. In June 2020, he released his second book titled Renewal, on elevating human consciousness through small changes in individual habits. As broadcaster and anchor of the Renewalism show, he ran daily episodes viewed by over 60,000 people online in its first season. Wow. Sandeep's methodology can quickly move hindering habits into profitable perception, providing the spark needed to reset the mindset of your organization. So this is really, really amazing, Sandeep. Truly inspiring and motivating. Yes. So to begin with, the term you have coined, what is renewalism?
Thank you. You are starting at a point which I am most passionate about. So I hope people listening here and watching us get equally impassioned, because renewal is something that you can. It's not about me coining it or anything of the sort. It is something where it actually comes from my book, which is Renewal. And the byline of the book is your unexpected role in saving the planet. So you have a role in saving the planet. It is all about you.
Oh,
and
great.
What is your role? Your role is only one thing, which is inside you. You cannot control anything outside you. All you can control is what's inside. So how do we explore what's inside? What is self-renewal about? We have a body, we have a mind, we have a spirit. How do we get those in alignment? And this is not yoga. Of course, yoga is about alignment and stuff. This is about habits. Small things that we just do without thinking. If we just start thinking a little about it, It takes fractions of seconds, but we would realize, why is it that I'm doing it this way? Can I do it the other way? And then we've got these habits which help us renew ourselves, which help us renew our relationships with others, with inanimate stuff like money, with the environment, with the planet. Because each one of us has a role to play in this entire symbiotic ecosystem. And then if you go a level deeper, it's about systems, because we have made the systems. And renewalism is about how do you, as an individual, have the capacity to make a system work better, work differently, work more contemporarily. Since most of your viewers, Abha, are in the education space, I will give you a reference just to contextualize that one of the things that have been written about as a renewal habit is exploring homeschooling, online schooling. And this book, incidentally, was written before the pandemic. It just so happens that the pandemic happened and we were pushed in the direction, we were actually forced in the direction of adopting some of these habits. We adopted the habit of mindfulness, to be mindful of our mask, to be mindful of physical distancing. And like that, we were forced into the habit of online schooling. Now, my point is that caused a lot of stress, and it was completely avoidable if it would have been done over 3, 4, 5 years by design. So the renewalism movement and the whole concept of renewalism is about how we just look at things to redesign them rather than adapt and get stressed when they are forced upon us. Because if we don't, then they might be forced upon us. COVID was one of many things that can happen in the future. And that's what renewal is about. So wow. Let's see where we go with this.
This is really enlightening. I mean, we never thought of such a thing, a renewal word. Normally, renewal, we relate it to our policy premiums and all that. But how it can relate to our lives, that is really fantastic. So how we can use this renewalism in education?
Right. So, like I said, we could have done this by design. We could have had the laptops and the bandwidth and all that, the preparations for that done. And also we could, even now we are continually redesigning how we can increase the human connection with the kids and stuff like that, because they need that interchange of energy as they grow. They cannot be sitting in front of machines all the time. But I'll go a level deeper, that where we stand today, I would invite you all, viewers, listeners, to become renewalists, to become part of this movement by maybe going over to renewalism.com and seeing what your role can be. But also, as responsible educators, we can start looking at how to bring some of the practices into our school system, into high school, into universities, because these are the ages where our kids are cementing their ideas of how to view the world. By the time you are 7, 8, you are a sponge, you are taking in everything. But between the age of 8 and 13, 14, you start deciding, this I like, this I don't like. And by the time you're a teenager, you are actually experimenting that, okay, if I do this, how does they react? And in this stage where we are experimenting and also defining our likes, we have the best chance of integrating new concepts of mindful living and of using our energy for productivity, which if we don't get at this stage and we get into the business or the corporate workspace, we are stuck. Because then suddenly we are overwhelmed. Like I did my engineering, and I remember when I got my first job, I realized nothing that I have learned is what is required in the workspace. I'm not sure things have changed today, because our school and college curriculums have not changed so much. So that's the beginning of stress, because we are overwhelmed by the demands, and we are not prepared for the demands. But preparing for the demand is not about preparing a better engineer or teaching more relevant subjects or giving more industry orientation. Yes, that helps. But if you can build the energy for the person to have the capacity to explore alongside and continuously learn on the job, then that capacity will serve not only in the job, it will serve in every other thing, because the person just becomes that much more flexible and is built to adapt and to keep growing. So I'm looking at renewalism in education at that level, where we can actually bring in aspects of what causes stress. What is stress? I mean, in college, I didn't even know what stress meant. It was just things to be done. Not that I wasn't stressed, I was very stressed. But I didn't label it like that because nobody told me that this is the label. It was only much later when I was actually running my own company, then I discovered that, okay, these demands are overpowering, and it is resulting in physical sickness and stuff like that. So that's when I started my crusade about reversing this for everybody. And renewal is the mechanism of doing that step by step.
This is really going to be very helpful for all the educators, especially the teachers and school principals like me. And definitely, if this concept has so much of effect on education, then I'm damn sure that it must be having a powerful impact on parents as well as students also. So, how this concept of renewalism is beneficial to parents and students?
What a lovely question there. So insightful. Because the student is a mirror. The student is just absorbing and just growing and then checking out, like we said a little while ago. But the parent and the teacher are the role models. So if the teacher is stressed, we are starting with a problem. And the school systems is such these days that there is so much to do, there is so much syllabus defined, there's so many activities defined, and there is a lot of ground to cover in a finite amount of time, that without developing our energy, we are failing miserably. Now, why it's important for the teachers as well as for the parents is because both sets of people are role modeling how to manage time. And time, and this might strike you as something out of the ordinary, time, if you think about it, has been there before you were born and will remain after you're gone. So much so that it does not even know that you exist. So the whole concept of managing something that does not even acknowledge your presence is silly. You cannot manage anything that's outside of you, and time is outside of you. All you can manage is what's inside of you, and what's inside of you is your energy. So if teachers and parents start understanding how to manage energy and bring those practices into the house or into the classroom, then the students would automatically pick that up, the way they pick up languages, the way they pick up characteristics, the way they pick up little traits of the family, everybody wears a hanky or something like that. So you just monkey see, monkey do happens. I would think that if we start with teachers, then we will naturally take it over to students, and through the students, it enters the house. It's very powerful. We've done stuff like this in Mexico, where we were working with small primary school students and just teaching them little things about meditation and mindfulness. Small stuff about going inside, the inner power, the energy connection. And then when that kid comes home and sees the mother angry, she says something very cute, and the mother's life changes forever. She says, "Mama, that anger is only clouds. Just watch them fly away. And now the mother says, what the heck, where did my kid get that from? You know? And then every time she's angry, she's imagining the smiling face of her daughter and clouds, and she's not angry anymore. So
this is really great. Yes.
you can go there. Either through the parent or through the kid is very powerful.
Yes. So definitely, this is very true that whenever parents are so angry, and if a child comes with such a divine feeling and expression, I think every parent would love that thing, that in such a small age, how this child has learned this. And I think for not that moment, in fact, for a longer period, this will impact on her also, like mother or father, that okay, my child has reminded me this.
Right. So this mother I know personally, and I know her life changed forever at that point, because she could not be angry anymore. She could just visualize the cloud.
Yes.
And nobody taught her till the age of 30 that there could be a cloud. That's how you could look at it. But the kid now knows it all their life. So if their boss says anything or the HR manager says anything, they know how to cope. Why? Because they did this little thing. And this is a very little thing compared to what we can really do with working with energy.
Absolutely. So when I was just going through your profile, I read about a term, qigong. The spelling is a little different, but thank you for helping me with the pronunciation. So can you please elaborate what exactly this qigong is?
Wow, you're just leading in from the subject to the other. This is exactly where we were coming to. Now, qigong is written Qigong. Okay. And the word Qi is pronounced chi and is what refers to life force energy. So we are all made of a certain life force. And this is Mandarin. In Japanese, they call it ki. You might have heard of Reiki, which is universal life force energy. So in Sanskrit, a loose similar word is prana, like pranic healing and pranayam, where you work with life force. And gang is the word for to work with. So as we were just talking about the parents working with the energy and going deep into energy work, the word qigong actually is energy work. So working with energy is the practice of qigong, which happens through exercises, which happens through our interplay with energy, and it also happens through meditative processes and actually visualizing the movement of energy within us. So there are various practices, and this is like 4,000 or 5,000 years old. It's the mother of all meditative process, because when they were sitting, the Taoists were immersed in their meditative process. They discovered how what we take in goes and converts into life force, and it takes intense meditation to reach that state. But once they did that, they kind of mapped it, and when they mapped it, they had energy channels, and those energy channels are what the acupuncture people they follow. So till today, science has not developed the instrumentation to measure those subtle energies, but we experientially know that they exist and they can be used for rebalancing ourselves and for healing. So we, as qigong practitioners, I'm a qigong coach, we don't work at the detail level of the acupuncture points, but we work on inundating those channels with good energy, so that it's like taking an internal bath. And that's what I would recommend every student and everybody on the planet to do. In fact, that's again a renewal habit, because we are so caught up with TV that we get all our opinions from there. And we also get a lot of advertising from there. And those advertising show us how there are germs animated in our teeth, and that's why we brush our teeth, and they're in our body, and that's why we have a bath. But there is no animation for what's happening in our energy. Our energy environment is getting contaminated by the opinions, by the news, by our thoughts, by ideas, by conflicting ideas, by physical things. All that is affecting us. But because we don't see an animation about it, we don't realize we need to clean it. So qigong is basically like taking an internal bath.
Really
and
interesting.
and it goes alongside everything. I mean, it's not like just because I'm taking a bath today, I will not do maths, or just because I'm taking a bath, I will, go to school late. No, you take a bath and you do everything. So same with qigong.
Very interesting. Moving further, as we all know, this 2020 year has been a COVID year full of challenges and lot of stressful time for the people all over the globe. Right. So, what are your tips to heal the wounds of financial, family, and emotional losses?
Yes, it's a very wide question, but I think there is one answer which fits all. One size fits all. Why? Because it's the lowest common denominator. It is what will make everything work, whether it's financial or personal or relational, and that is gratitude. We have to find something to be grateful about in anything and everything. You see, if we can come to that level of vibration where we can be grateful, then we will have a hard ground from which to jump. We jump on the ground of gratitude. What happens in our normal monkey mind, which wants to jump everywhere? This mind says, if that contract works out, I will be happy. If that car comes in, I will be happy. I will be grateful. I will do puja. I will make offerings. I will. But the point is, you have a job right now. You have a scooter right now. You have something which you can be grateful for right now. And unless you are grateful for that, how will you jump to the car, to the contract? Because it is like, again, those animations, Tom and Jerry. What happens is that Tom is chasing Jerry, and then suddenly Jerry turns and Tom goes over the cliff. And after some time, he realizes that he's crossed the cliff and he goes down. Right? So same thing. When you don't have a hard ground, you're saying, I will be grateful only when that happens. You will be down. But when you have a hard ground, take financial. You're having financial problems. I understand. But if you are in a position to eat even 1 square meal a day, be grateful for that. Because that will give you the energy to jump to 2 square meals. You don't need more than 2 square meals, frankly, but to better meals, to organic meals, whatever you want, to feeding other people. So the point is, how do we create this gratitude? So I'm going to give you, your viewers, a couple of tricks to do this as a habit, because renewal is about forming habits and gratitude is a habit. It's called the G24 principle. Now, what is G24? G is gratitude, okay, you might have guessed. 24 is not 24 hours a day because it's not practical. Come on, we have all sorts of emotions, right? But it is to remember that instead of thinking of things happening to me, think of how the same thing can happen for me. So you make a 2-4 switch and make it as a habit every night. Think of 5 things that happened that day which didn't go the way you would have loved to. I mean, if something had happened differently, you would have been ecstatic, right? Let's take an example. Let's take an example of my air conditioner. All right. So, okay, this is live, and I'm making this up because the AC guy had come this morning, because the AC was not working right or at 22, and my wife and I, we both thought that the gas is leaked. So when he came, I said, "Bhaiya, the gas is leaked. Go check that." He said, "I have other things to check also." I said, "You first check the gas." So he went and checked the gas, and he told me, "No, sir, the gas is fine." Now I was very upset. This is energetic contamination because I have an ego. And I said, "My ego is wrong here. This is not right." But because I have the habit, every night I have those 5 things that I change from how it's bad to me, my opinion is wrong, that's happened to me, to how it's good for me. Hey, man, I don't have to spend $3,000 now. Maybe I have to spend less because any gas refilling is going to cost 3,000 or plus. So it actually happened for me that my opinion was wrong, and I could make the switch instantly. And my vibrations changed. I said, "Okay, great. Now tell me what's wrong." And then he just did whatever he had to do, and bam, it was working fine again. Now, reducing the time to make this switch is forming the habit. So if you do 5 things like that every day, where it happened to you, you were victimized, your opinion was crushed, your contract didn't happen, your salary got cut, whatever, to how it happened for you, you will make a habit. And then you will keep reducing the time and start doing it in real time. That's the one thing that you want to do. The second thing is you want to reduce your benchmarks, which we just talked about. Instead of thinking that I will be happy only when I have 2 square meals, you'll be happy when you have 1 square. You don't have any square meal, you'll be happy you still have your stomach. Because it could have happened that somebody poisoned you last night and your stomach was gone. Then instead of having anything in, you would have only things out till you clean your body. So nobody poisoned you. So your stomach is still fine. So you can lower your benchmarks and be grateful for anything. And do these things. These are habits. These bring about renewal. You will find that whatever challenges COVID has created or anything has created, it has happened for you in some sense or the other. And then you will say to your grandchildren, that was a blessing in disguise. Baba, make it a blessing now in reality.
Absolutely. Here, definitely, I have also learned this gratitude thing during this COVID time by attending some of the webinars of coaches like you. So I have started following this practice of writing gratitude journal every night.
Right.
But now one thing is more added from now onwards, that to and for thing. I know at this moment, definitely I will say that we should pay our gratitude to God that we are still alive and safe, that we have not been affected with that disease. So yes, many bad things might have come through this past 1 year, but the biggest positive thing and the bestest thing we had is we are still alive without getting affected with the disease. So this is a short example from my side. So yes, now every one of you, I expect my viewers to start doing this gratitude 2 for
G2 switch.
G2 switch.
Right.
Okay.
G2 switch.
It's G2 switch. Wow. So we'll definitely follow. I'm going to follow it definitely from today. So Sandeep, kindly share about what kind of programs and workshops do you conduct to ignite this inner power of renewalism?
So for schools, I am proposing that we can do it at 3 levels. Like we discussed, let's start with teachers. Let's reduce the management pressures because we build their capacities. And they will not only become better teachers, they will also become better role models and become better parents. Every teacher is probably a parent too. And for the organization, when there is less stress, there is more productivity. It's very simple. When there is more productivity, there is more throughput. When there is more throughput, there is more revenue. When there's more revenue, that is what any business organization is intending. So schools don't probably realize the importance of increasing efficiency and engagement of their own staff, even non-teaching staff, they're a lot more engaged, they're a lot more happy, they're a lot more with their students and their clients, customers, parents, whatever you call them, and more compassionate and more kind when they have handled this issue of stress. So let's get them to handle it. It is a payoff that is invaluable. From there, let's go to the kids and do programs for 10 minutes online. In fact, the earlier thing also was online because we can do these programs online. But for kids, especially, I said online because we can actually teach them mindfulness and qigong through 10 minute interactions. So it's I do it in corporates. I do it. I would like to do it a lot more of it in schools and colleges. The administration just haven't been able to bring the kids together so far, probably because they've not had shows like yours, Abha, where they understand how important and how significant these aspects are. But in corporates, for instance, again, where people are all over the world, they have a designated time. And in schools, they have designated time for every period, right? So they do come together. Just come together for 10 minutes, work on your G24 today. Come together, work on another habit today. Come together and work on sound meditation. Come together and work on eating meditation. Something like that. Fun and teaching you something that stays with you for life, like the cloud of anger, right? And then we can also look at how to take this to the parents through a value addition by the school, which is now not just a school, but an ecosystem caring for holistic wellness. And because that ecosystem can't do without the parent, it's co-opting the parent into it and doing a workshop financed by the parent, but facilitated by the school. And in fact, it could be in a sharing with the school also, so that there is something in it, payback for the time and the promotional effort that the school makes to the parents. There is time that's going to go into it to get parents to understand what we're talking about. But when the parents do those workshops in small batches, maybe 20 parents at a time online, they start creating behavior change in the house. And then it just is a snowball. It just builds up into a very positive culture and a very caring culture and a very understanding culture both ways. And you don't really, at one level where you have an energetic connection, you don't even need a PTA meeting. You just know, because like energetically when you meet somebody after 20 years, hey, you are the person I went to school with. And you just connect with the person. That's an energetic connection. So like that, the parent and teacher would have an energetic connection if they really walk down this path.
This is really interesting. And yes, all the educators, all the teachers, all the school leaders, in fact, corporate leaders also, you please pay attention to this, what just now Sandeep has mentioned. So if you all are yes. So if you are interested to join his program, I am just dropping down all his credentials in the description box. So please do connect him for getting yourself renewal. So thank you so much, Sandeep. Yes.
Sorry. Yes. Say that it is not like you are buying my program. I have nothing to sell. You can go to renewalism.com, click on the movement and download a PDF that says all this. It's just that I am the facilitator. I would like your participation and in fact your involvement as a parent, as a teacher, as an administrator, as a corporate head, as an organization leader, to bring the culture of renewing ourselves from inside. And I think it starts with your own staff. So I'm happy to facilitate that. How it's done is the PDF is already online, and just reach out to me and we can have a dialogue.
Yes, sure. And so I'm sharing all the links and details of Sandeep Nath in the description box. So you can go through it. And if you still find yourself somewhere stuck, he will be there to help you out. Right, Sandeep?
Totally. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Sandeep, for sharing your valuable insights on this platform and also devoting your valuable time. So it was really empowering listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So
thanks
friends,
a lot, viewers, for watching.
So friends, if you wish to see other episodes of Spotlight with Abha, do click to the playlist coming up on the screen. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel for upcoming episodes of Spotlight with Abha. And yes, don't forget to press the bell icon right there with the subscription button so that you can get immediate notification of my latest videos. So this is Abha along with Sandeep Nath signing off now. So now do follow the ideas of renewalism. Start doing G2-4 switch, which you just heard, and stay happy, healthy, relaxed, and get renewed. See you soon in the next episode. Till then, bye-bye, namaste, Jai Hind.